What's going on, everybody? It's Sunny back again with another Madden 18 Gauntlet video. Expansion 5 is out, so that means more challenges for us to complete. And I'm going to go over the Legend. These are the Legend Gauntlet challenges, 41 through 45. I'm just going to show you what I did, maybe give you some tips, hopefully help you complete these as quickly and as easily as possible. They recommend that you have an 85 plus. I wouldn't say that that's completely necessary, but they are pretty good. I mean, they're all Madden 95 overall. If you do enjoy the video, though, I would appreciate a thumbs up, man. Really appreciate the support. But let's get into checking out these challenges. The first challenge, as you see, against Green Bay Packers. Scored touchdown, 99 yards it out. If you want to get the pack, you need to do a toss play. So go to single back. You go over to doubles, and the play that I use is going to be halfback toss crack. Now, obviously, since this is the very first play, you only get one attempt. You could pass it, it'd make it a lot easier, but you want that pack. So find a toss play. This is the one I use. Like I said, single back, doubles, crack. First time I did it, as you see, I got like 30 yards or 29 yards or something like that. I think it's a pretty good play, at least when you're all the way back in the end zone. Kind of gives you, I don't know, just I thought it worked really well for me. I like that play. I use it sometimes in the challenges and stuff. But halfback toss crack. Second time I did it, I definitely will admit when I first got the ball, I really thought that I wasn't going to get anywhere, but all of a sudden, a couple broken tackles later, and, well, green grass in front of me. If you're wondering who I have the Adrian Peterson Snow Beast. That's the running back I use. I also use Barry Sanders sometimes, the 90 overall Barry Sanders. So that's the 93, but that's it for the challenge. Like I said, halfback toss crack. I think it works really well. If you do have another play that you like, man, go ahead and use it. Nothing wrong with that. But going on to the next challenge, 57-yard field goal, and they do give you a kicker, and so you don't have to buy a kicker. I actually made that mistake when I first saw the challenges. I went out and bought a kicker really quick, and I didn't need it. So I sold it back, lost like 20,000 coins. But anyway, they give you a kicker, 57 yards out. Very first one I actually missed. You're going to want to push down on the left thumbstick. That way, kind of give you some arc on your kick. Definitely going to need to time it right. Again, another one that you either make it or you don't. So I'll let you do it over again. That one hit the crossbar. Bounced back. Third time is a charm, though, so I did it. And I really, honestly, I thought I missed it, and they said that I missed it. But I actually looked at the replay. I hit the camera, and so it actually gave it to me as making the 57-yard field goal. So second one, or the third one, do not allow any yards. If you want to get the bonus pack, you got to get the first play to be negative yards. So for my play, nickel, 2-4-5, double A gap, mid blitz, I always use her, whichever safety covers the running back. And again, this is just one drive. You want to get negative yards on the first play. So, you know, again, if you don't get negative yards on the first play, just restart it. Just do it again. The first couple challenges in this set are actually really short, so there's nothing wrong with just resetting it. Again, user the safety that covers the running back. It's going to be your job for the most part to be the one to get the halfback. And so at least sometimes, you know, you will have your teammates cover up for you, but use the same 2-4-5 mid blitz. This time, you know, they got to pass off. They got a couple yards, so I had to restart it again. You only need 3 plays in which you don't allow any yards. Again, first play needs to be negative. So again, using the mid blitz and covering that running back, and they throw it. Sometimes they will throw it, and if they drop it or don't get any yards, even though they don't get yards, you still want to reset it because you want that extra pack. So Normally, unless you can force a fumble, obviously on a quarterback sack or something, which I couldn't do for some reason on this challenge. But just keep restarting it until you get that negative on the first play like I did just there. Use that safety, find the halfback, and tackle him for a loss. And then once you do that, go to the same play. Oh, and I always pick pass. So when you have the decision, you know, whether or not you want to guess run, guess pass, I always guess pass every time. And that way when I'm using the halfback, I put it on myself to tackle the halfback. And here on the third down play, man, just got a lot of pressure right up the middle. Was able to tackle him. I think it took 3 or 4 times for this particular challenge. But again, this one was really short just because you could restart it so quick if it didn't meet the challenges. So got the bonus pack on that one. The next challenge, rush for a touchdown, pass for a touchdown. You only have 2 plays. So your very first play, you got to rush it or pass it. It doesn't matter, but you only have 1 play. And then the next time you get the ball, your very first play has to be a touchdown. So there are a few ways around this. You start off at the 10-yard line. I'm going to go with the running to start. Inside zone, the spread. Couple different options here, and I'll do each of them with this challenge because I had to restart this challenge a couple times. But you're only 10 yards out. So I would definitely recommend just doing the running first, just because the running is because you can do the passing on the second one much further out. The first time I did it, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go for an onside kick and try to get the ball back and just end it. And, you know, you never get those onside kicks back. I stopped him on defense, got the punt, and I was trying to field it and run it back and ended up running it back. They got me a safety. So this actually just shows you that you can let them score, and it does not matter. And another point to make in this actual challenge is that when you get the ball, if you don't like where you are, like right here, I am at the 17-yard line. If you don't like where you are, just punt them the ball on the first down. Don't even bother throwing a play or doing a play or anything like that. Just punt them the ball, let them score or whatever it is, just so you could get the ball back. And that way you don't have to waste your run or pass on an 80-yard touchdown or something, unless you know you can get it. The second time I tried it, I actually tried to do the passing one first just to see how it worked, because I was thinking that, you know what, I'll just try to force the fumble on the kickoff or on defense, and then just use the running play for the next one. And on the kickoff, I was able to get the ball back. I was going to try to run it to the 1-yard line and then just run it in, but obviously it didn't work. At the 16-yard line, all I can do was run it, and almost broke the tackle and made it into the end zone, but ended up short. So again, had to restart it. This is another one that isn't too long, but this time in the gun, I'm going to go to halfback draw. This is another play in the spread that I like to use that I think works pretty well. Same formation as the inside zone, except just a draw. And so that time, got to run. You got to stop him on defense. Try to get the ball back by sacking the quarterback, forcing that fumble, and then get the ball back. Now we have to pass it 15 yards out or 16 yards out, and ended up throwing an incompletion. They play pretty good defense, I guess, sometimes, you know. But again, like I said, when you're doing this challenge, if you can't force that fumble and they give you the ball back and you're at your own 10-yard line, your own 20-yard line or 30-yard line, and you don't have a 70-yard play or something like that, man, just punt them the ball. Just punt the ball to them, or let them and then let them score, get the ball back, and then when you get to a place in which you're comfortable, then run your play, and that way you don't waste it. So finally, on the 4th time, I used a quarterback draw. Again, you can use tons of running plays from 10 yards out, and then go back to those vertical plays in the shotgun, halfback trips weak, and then throw it over here to Calvin Johnson, my snow beast. He is absolutely awesome. Got that taken care of. I think it took me, again, probably like 4 or 5 times. And then the last one, the Legend Finale, Gauntlet Expansion 4. This one was a little difficult. There is a challenge in this in which you actually have to limit them to 10 yards rushing. And that's probably the hardest part of this challenge, is to limit them to 10 yards rushing. But after playing it a few times, I think I figured out the best way to actually complete it, the best way to do the challenge, at least works for me. You got to complete all of those things. So you got to get 20 yards rushing, a bunch of passing yards, a rushing touchdown, passing touchdown. You can't let them get more than 4 completions or 10 yards rushing or score. The completions aren't necessarily were that big of a deal. I never really had a trouble. Like, the reason I failed wasn't because of the completions. It was always the 10 yards rushing. So you get the ball first. You have to score 3 times. You have to play defense twice. Now, if you play it right, good clock management, you're going to want to play defense only 2 times. The first time you get the ball, score as fast as you can. Just throw the ball up the field. Again, I use trips halfback week. I just throw the ball as far as I can. First play touchdown, get it. Because the reason why that is, you start with like 14 minutes, yes, and that is a ton of time. But if you can't stop them on the first one, you don't want to waste all of that time that you spent trying to waste clock, completing the challenges and stuff, only to not be able to finish the challenge because they get 10 yards rushing. So the best thing to do, score as fast as you can, play the defense first, and then if you stop them on defense the first time, then you're going to want to chew clock. Then you're going to want to do the completions and things like that. So again, we go back to the 2-4-5 double A gap mid blitz. They can't run for 10 yards. They can't have 4 pass completions. User, the halfback, the one with the safety, chase the halfback down. Be sure you tackle him. Again, the running was the hardest part. That is the one that prevented me from, or made me fail so many times. I think I ended up having to do this like 5 or 6 times. So I stopped him on the first time. You get the ball back. This guy crushed the ball on the punt. But if you get the ball back, you know, you're going to want to run backwards on the punt. That way you have the entire field to chew clock. Go to gun tight and run the mesh play. The mesh play has the 2 drags, one on each side, that run across the screen. Put it on chew clock. Do your drags to get your completions fall down, and also use this time to use your 20 yards rushing. Leave it on chew clock again, because you're going to want to pick up the 20 yards rushing on the first drive, and then you're going to also want to try to get as many pass completions as you possibly can. So I ran it for like 3 or 4 times, got my 20 yards. Once I got my 20 yards, then it was back to the pass completions, back on the chew clock. I throw it to that mesh play on the guns tight. Once I get the ball, then I just fall over. You get the ball, you fall over. You leave it on chew clock, man. You're burning like 40 seconds each time. Even if you score very first play on your first possession, you can still chew the rest of the clock. As you see, it was I burned it all the way down to 3:45 at the 1 yard line. You need a running touchdown and a passing touchdown. So since the first play I got a passing you get a passing touchdown on that long bomb. You're going to want to run it or chew as much clock as you can, and then get it as close as you can and get your running touchdown. So now you got to play defense for the second time. I wouldn't recommend trying to hit stick, and I didn't mean to do this. I guess I did mean to do it, but I really wasn't thinking, and this almost ended up screwing me over in the end. But we get the ball back. There's 3:30. The problem with I have is I need yards, and I need pass completions, and I do not want them to have the ball because, again, they have a beast of a running back. So what I did was I pitched it to my halfback. I ran backwards because I need the passing yards. I also need pass completions. So Once I did that, then I went back to the 4 verticals, or went back to the verticals on that trips halfback week. Threw it up to Calvin Johnson, got the yardage complete, and now I need the completions complete. So I went back to the drags. I only had like 3 or 4 left. And again, if you kicked it off to him and did not get the forced fumble, which is totally cool. I wish I almost didn't, just because it made it a little more difficult. Here it's 4th and 1, right? I am 1 pass completion short. I do not want to leave time on the clock. I'm trying to get the first down. That way I could burn the rest of the clock and just use my last few plays for a pass completion. So I am trying not to get into the end zone, and Peterson ends up getting into the end zone. I am 1 completion short. Now I have to play my defense with 30 seconds left, and have all my timeouts though. So this is the reason why. I mean, you're gonna have to play defense twice, and so I would rather have not have forced that fumble. But it's 3rd down, and now it's 4th down. The clock is going. I still need 1 completion. I'm thinking that I'm going to be able to bat the ball down or anything, but they throw it up. I'm panicking. I catch the ball. I freak out, and then good thing I realize to dive out of bounds. I dive out of bounds. 1 second left. I still need 1 pass completion, and of course I go over to the guns tight and hit that mesh play for the last pass completion. So again, just a quick summary, you know, once you kick it off, after you score the 2nd time and right before you play the defense the 2nd time, I would not recommend trying to force that fumble. You're going to have to play defense twice. And so if you can get the entire field, then that way you can have the entire field to burn the rest of the clock and score and get all your yards, not have to run backwards like I did, and not have to wait to the last second to get that last pass completion. But still, that did it. It took me like 6 times to finally get this. Again, the running was the problem. That 10-yard rushing with Freeman, man, he broke crazy amount of tackles. But doing it this way, you only have to play defense twice, which means 6 plays. 3 and out, 3 and out. That's only 6 plays. Here are all the packs. We got the Gold Plus Packers pack, Gold Plus Linebackers fantasy pack, the Gauntlet Legend fantasy pack. It says that you can choose a legend in this pack, which is pretty cool. I don't know if they're full legends or how many legends are inside of them that you actually get to choose. It didn't say on the actual I guess whatever on the challenge. It didn't say, you know, what it actually was. And the elite is an 89 overall, non-auctionable, but the legend is fully auctionable. So those are all the packs that you actually get from completing the legend challenges, which again weren't too difficult. It took me about an hour and a half. I did a couple of them at the last 2 challenges. I think I did each of them like 4 or 5 times. But anyway, I hope this video helped. I hope you got some tips, made it easier for you. You know, if you follow these strategies or these tips, you know, hopefully it helps you out. But if it did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I think I'll post one for the veteran. I haven't done them yet, but I just wanted to get the legends out first. But anyway, that is going to do it for the video. Take it easy. I am out. Peace.